The kisses are hers and his. Three's company too. Come and dance on the floor. Take a step that is new. In a lovable space that needs your face. Three's company too. You'll see.
Okay, this is Chaz Says Anything. I hope my audio is okay. As you see on the ticker below, this is episode 21. Unbeatens fall and an eclipse in the west. Are we living in the wild, wild west? I was going to do another song, but since something happened, I think it was yesterday, I felt that it was more apropos. So, if you like what you see, and like what you hear, click subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Kind of looks like that. Just got that today. Got a couple stickers for my car too, so I'm going to be able to promote on the road when I'm on the road. I think that'll be fun. Okay, so let's. Oh, if you didn't notice before, chat underneath my name, I have Nostradamus of None. Figured that's my new name. Since I feel like I'm a little bit Nostradamus sometimes, but I'm a Nostradamus of None. So let's go to first things first. My picks and my boys' picks from Saturday. So let's share that screen. Okay. So Tennessee in London kind of didn't show up. The Baltimore won. So Aiden got that, and Hunter and I did not. Cincinnati, they just played, I guess, just enough to beat Seattle 17-13. So all three of us got that. I picked Houston, and they were in a they weren't in a shootout like I thought it'd be. It was 20-13. Unfortunately, my boys did not get that, and I got Houston. Obviously, this game right here, Philly and Jets, we'll talk about that in a minute. We all picked that. We all lost. Buffalo Giants, me and Aiden got that right. And Hunter, being the homer that he is, and we'll talk about this game too, he almost got that right. And then lastly, Dallas eking it out last night. Aiden, only one got that right, and Hunter and I got that wrong. So I went 3-3 this week. Hunter went 1-5. Aiden, the champ this week, if he does watch this sometime later, next couple of days, since he's got his first practice for being Randy in A Christmas Carol. So Aiden does win the pick six for the week. So he's 10-8 for his picks. Hunter's down to 6-12. Hunter's probably got to watch some football. And I'm 21-15. So I'm doing okay. I'm probably on 60%, 65%. I feel I'm doing okay. So let's get out of this. Go back to that. I can let go of that. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday night. Jets stun the Eagles 20-14. Now, that's just okay. If I look at the game and game details, I mean, honestly, first things first. Is this going to be too much? I feel like I'm going slow now. Okay. Apparently, I can't go on Google. I mean, not Google, NFL.com. So, what I remember from the Jets and Philly. Honestly, I think this is too bright. Hold on a second. Nope, that's not it. It's this one. There we go. Okay, that's better. So I think Jalen Hurts all goes. I'll say it now because honestly, that was a very bad game for Jalen Hurts. He couldn't find anything. I mean, the running backs didn't do anything. The wide receivers didn't do anything. And part of that was the Jets defense. Let's be real. And the Jets just did enough to win this game. I mean, there's nothing more to say about that, honestly. It's they. Let's see if I can find sports. I don't want week 7. Athletic. That's anyway. So, long story short, Jets really showed up. I mean, that was really a good game for the Jets. Eagles go down. They with them losing, go to 5-1, and we'll talk about their 5-1 loss where it drops them. I think in my poll that I just put up. Jets have a next week's game was going to be interesting. Let me pull up a pool host. Let's see if that works. Then I can see who they're playing. Week 6. I'm sorry, week 7. Jets are off. I see Giants are home against Washington. Oh, I guess the Jets are off. Okay. So the Jets earned a week off. And Philly, if I'm correct, they got it. They're the home from Miami. Philly's got to win. Flat out. They got to win. X that out. Okay. Philly's got to win just to stay alive in this division because Dallas winning yesterday. It's almost imperative for them to be doing better in this division because do we really think the Giants are going to do well with these websites? So, like I said, Jets win, Philly loses a bit. It was probably the upset of the weekend. And interesting enough, Aaron Rodgers made suggestions to the Jet coaches during victory over the Eagles per report. I think people are making too much of this. Aaron Rodgers, he threw passes and caught them. But that's not where he's injured, right? It's his ankle. He's not going to be able to run. He's not going to be able to stand. He can't play. Settle down. It's not going to happen. Don't think that people are gonna, he'll tell Pat the guy on Saturday morning, Pat, WWE guy too. So they'll tell him, then he'll say, he's not playing. That ain't happened. Now for the Eagles, and I should mention because I did see this and it was texted to me by my lovely fiance that they picked up another wide receiver, Julio Jones. Crazy. Well, he played for Tampa Bay and I believe Atlanta. It's been a while. He's obviously a free agent. Must have been hurt for a while. So do the Eagles really need another wide receiver? I mean, they're overloading that whole offense when that wasn't really the issue. You couldn't block. You couldn't get open. That was the issue against the Jets. So there's Julio Jones, and I believe he's like 6'5", 6'6". Is he going to be the helper for you? No, he's just taking somebody else's catches away. So I don't know about that, honestly. So All right. This game I'm going to get into a little bit because I watched this entire game. And I picked Buffalo to win. So thankfully, I got the game right. The issue, multiple issues. One, like I said, we're down here. New York Giants defense can't score all the points, can they? And they skated by. And Buffalo skated by. You know why they skated by? The officials. Those were two. Well, can't say two bad calls. One bad call because the first call was called at the end of the game to say pass interference, put them on the 1 yard line. Then the play happens, and what happens again? Pass interference. He grabs him by the jersey as the ball's coming. By the definition of the rule, it's pass interference. God forbid you got to do that again. I mean, that's what your job is as referee. You call the play and you call the penalty. It's mind-boggling that it came down to that. And unfortunately, I don't blame them as much because it was a very egregious call or non-call. We would have never gotten to that if Tyrod Taylor does not audible. And I'm telling you right now, I've watched Daniel Jones for the last 4 years. Daniel Jones doesn't audible that play in the end of the first half with 10 seconds to go, do a run that runs right into a wall, and then you can't get up. He doesn't do that. Daniel Jones will run himself. Tyrod, you can run. You know how to run. You're a running quarterback. Maybe not as fast, but you're a running quarterback. If you have to fake the pass, fake the pass. I'm at my wit's end with Tyrod Taylor. Going back and forth on social media, I'm at my wit's end. I don't understand why this keeps happening. And Dable's getting criticized for yelling at Tyrod Taylor. Oh, yeah, we're yelling at the professional players. Oh, stop. The people on radio who are saying this need to stop. They're men. They made a mistake. Tyrod made a mistake. There's nothing more to say than Tyrod made a mistake. I mean, that still runs in my head. That play 10 seconds ago, and we all saw you audible. We all saw you hand off to Saquon. I can't imagine it in the huddle. The wide receivers must have been like nuts. We're going to run this. So, all in all, the defense played well. Giving up 14 points to a Buffalo team in Buffalo, defense played well. I can't say too much more about that. I mean, the defense, Thibodeau showed up. Other guys were there. We had a couple penalties that we didn't need, but they gotta fix that. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. So I think I put this on Facebook. Let me see. Sitting on the couch. Where's the next one? Maybe not. There it is. Okay. So go to this next piece. I wrote something on Facebook. This was 3 days ago. It was probably Saturday into Sunday. I don't know, whatever day. So New York Giants fans, who do you want next season? I'm leaning Bo Nix. How about y'all? So if I go to this, and I'll show you that this was put up on Facebook, and quarterback prospects viewing guide for the hashtag Giants set by the Giants 366 Twitter feed. And it was Caleb Williams who was playing against Notre Dame, which inevitably lost that game. So Caleb didn't have a good game. Drake May for UNC. I don't remember who won that game. I'll have to look. Bo Nix and Penix, Oregon versus Washington. If I'm correct, I think Washington won. So Bo Nix lost that game. Go figure. Bo Nix beats Colorado but can't beat Washington. And J.J. McCarthy, Indiana at Michigan. And I believe J.J. McCarthy is the Michigan quarterback. And Indiana's pretty bad. So I want Bo Nix, honestly. I think he's legit. And if we get the 5th pick or anywhere 5-1, if we're this bad, I think it's legitimate thought to take one of these quarterbacks. Even I would even say the Notre Dame quarterback who's like 24, 25, 26 years old, that he's a 6-year quarterback, whatever, but he's a legit quarterback. If you want to get an offensive lineman for our team and then go get him 2nd round or late 1st round, do that. And I know I shouldn't be talking about draft. We're just as bad. So I just feel I got to get it out there that I'm saying this right now. So I really love Bo Nix from what I've seen. And Caleb Williams actually is legit too, but I think he goes 1st or 2nd, period. So, I'm thinking that, that's a possibility. Next, talk about this real quick. This was a highlight in the Dallas game. So obviously we know Dallas won 20-17. They just, they played a solid game last night. I can't argue with any Cowboy fan that they played their butts off and they took it to Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, they're still not the best team in the NFC, and anybody who says that they're drinking their own Kool-Aid. Okay, but to me, and I'll get into this with my top 10. And it's my first top 10 of the year. That's what I'm not doing top 10s for teams in the NFL until week 6, because at least you get some games under you. I know we start to buy, so there's at least 5 games that I can at least go off of. So Brandon Cooks did an amazing thing. He's caught his first touchdown of the season. He's been with more than 5 teams. He's caught a touchdown with 5 different teams, which has never been done before. And good for Mike Golick, Westwood 1, Dave Harlan, Kevin Harlan, and Mike Golick. I love listening to Kevin Harlan, and the fact that Mike Golick's with him. I think Westwood 1 is my Monday night now listen going forward, because I have no need for Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And after the first showing of the Manning cast, where they didn't know their hand from their fist in the Jet game where Aaron Rodgers went down, I'm not looking forward to even watching one of those anymore. But yeah, so these two, this was a pretty interesting stat, and good for Brandon Cooks. Congratulations. I will clap for this guy. He's a good receiver. He's a damn good receiver. And Dallas had a good week this week. I'll give him that. Okay, so this also happened. We saw the Patriots lost again. Not really good. Not at all. Sorry, I'm just checking something. Oh. Okay, yeah. I do want to talk about that too. So, Belichick lost again. Let's sink in for that. Could he be his team be one of the worst teams in the league, worse than the Giants? I think he's on the hot seat. I think the more he loses, the worse. Obviously, and maybe I mean Captain Literal here, but yeah, I think he's done after this year. I mean, that's not really jumping the gun on. Oh my God, he's gone. Yeah. Well, 10/17, October 17th, 2023. this season, 2023, 2024, is his last season. He's gone. As I love to say sometimes, you know, whenever something occurs, he gone. So that's what I think. Next, so let's do a little recap and my top 10 teams. Okay, so little recap. So I did post on Facebook. I'm not going to show it. 86% of America picked Buffalo. 14% of America picked the Giants. I was a little surprised at that, but the Giants showed a lot. So, and the whole cast of NBC picked the Bills. So we almost got showed up, picking the Bills. It does happen from time to time when some cast picks the one team and one team only, that everything goes to SHIT and the other team wins. And it's like, oh boy, so now, okay, let me go to this. Justin Pugh, straight off the couch. That was funny. Justin Pugh, straight off the couch. Where do you hear that? I mean, seriously, where do you hear that? They just picked up Justin Pugh, the Giants did, who used to play for them, and he does his little shtick in the front, and says, where he's from, not a college, not a high school, not a town, straight off the couch. You know how many people would love to do that, just straight off the couch and go play a football game on national television? That'd be a dream. That was my dream for the last 20 years. At 47, I can't dream like that anymore. I can only dream of that for my kids. But that was an interesting thing that happened with that straight off the couch. All right. So do I have to keep this up for anything else? Probably that. I definitely got to keep that up. So let me see if I can get NFL.com back up again. I want to talk about the rest of the schedule that I didn't talk about the games. The Thursday night game, which was Kansas City, I think I talked about that on Saturday. Let's see. Schedule. Scores. Okay. A little slow. I'm a little sorry. Thursday game was Kansas City at home against. Yeah, I don't remember because it was against the Broncos. That's right. So, obviously, Broncos, Chiefs won 19-8. Not much of a game, but they actually played a heck of a game to at least defend that well enough. That was a great defensive game, no doubt. Ravens in London. What can I say? The Ravens finally showed up. I mean, they're 4-2, but the first 3 wins weren't as good. Okay, this ad is frustrating me. Commanders, Washington Commanders are 3-3. So this is why the Giants are they're not going to compete. We might get a couple more wins, and it is what it is on that perspective. But the Falcons, what happened? You're home. You need to defend. There's something up with Atlanta. Maybe Ritter's not the guy. Bijan Robinson's not enough. So Vikings beat the Bears, but not really by much. I mean, the Bears were in it the entire game. Lost 19. The Vikings won 19-13. Not a confident team that we're going to be picking down the road. Bengals actually win 17-13 and shocked the 3-2 Seahawks. I mean, the guys calling on CBS, This was just. I thought this. I think we all thought this was going to be more of an offensive than a defensive game. A lot of defensive games this week, and it was really, you know, the 1 o'clock games are really good. Like everything just came down to the end, and this one was just like that. I mean, it was really good. Obviously the shocker, the other unbeaten. Why I kept this unbeaten up. The shock of the week. So probably the Jets may not have been the shock, but their defense showed it. The Browns beating the 49ers. Now, McCaffrey went out, but they still got weapons. I mean, Ayuk's still there. Other guys are there. I think I have wide receivers out too. That's where Julius Jones should have went. He should have went to San Francisco. They could use a guy. But yeah, so 49ers go down only by 2. And they would have won that game if their rookie kicker, makes a field goal. So they theoretically could have won that game, but obviously physically and logically and literally they did not. So that being said, Browns might be someone to watch down the road. Texans beat the Saints 2013. Again, CJ Stroud got his first interception, but you know what? He's still, I think, probably going to be leader of the pack when it comes to Rookie of the Year. Jaguars roll, and I mean roll, over the Colts, 37-20. That was a beat down like no other. Finally, I think Doug Peterson's getting to them a little bit. Dolphins beat the Panthers, and I mean smack them. Carolina, I don't know. They're probably number 1 now. The number 1 draft pick for 2024. Miami, I mean, they had a good week. 2 unbeatens go down. So the 72 team gets to celebrate, and the Dolphins win in hand. They could have probably had their backup in. I think Tua will play the entire game, but they could have their backup in. All right. This game, I think, was one of the 4 o'clocks. Raiders beat the Patriots. This is the Patriot game. Only lost by 4, but New England Mac Jones can't get out of his own way. So they lost 21-17. Patriots are 1-5. 1-5. You got that? That's bad. Although the Giants are 1-5 too, but I think the Giants have something that the Patriots don't. I don't know what that is yet. It's something. Lions beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay 20-6. I mean, total defense domination on the road. I'm going to hear it from people. I've already heard it from people at work with my top 10 that I have told already. So I'll take the licking. That's fine. And we'll go from there. Let's see, Rams, Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams at home finally showed up with whoever they got on that team and Matt Stafford. I think Cooper Kupp played, so that helped too. So Rams beat the Cardinals 26-9. Jets Eagles, I already discussed that. Jets Eagles, how Jets defense was just delirious, to the point where Jalen Hurts, like I said, saw ghosts, aka Sam Darnold. I know Jet fans remember that. I think Jalen was seeing ghosts. I truly do. Bills Giants, like I said, a disgusting display of Tyrod Taylor not doing what he was supposed to do in the first half, and the referees being idiots at the last call, and throughout that game, no less, too, for both sides. And the Monday night game, which I really thought the Chargers had something. I really did, and they didn't. He doesn't seem like he has that it factor that is a quarterback for the Chargers. He doesn't have it. Maybe he'll get it sometime this year, but the Cowboys basically kept him in it until the very end. So good for the Cowboys. They got their 4th win. And then we'll go from there. Now to top 10. I'm going to state it from 10 to 1. And whoever's watching, you can, comment if you want. So, number 10, Tampa Bay, 3-2. Number 9, Baltimore, 4-2. Number 8, Buffalo, 4-2. Number 7, and fans of this team might kill me for being at 7, but my reasoning is my reasoning. 7, Dallas, 4-2. Jacksonville, 6, 4-2. That's all the 4-2s and the 3-2. We have 5 5-1s. Number 5, Miami Dolphins are 5. They're my number 5 team. Number 4, with that loss to the Jets, Philadelphia, number 4. Number 3, who a lot of people are telling me should be number 1. But that one loss, I feel just is a little bit greater than the other 2 losses of the other 2 teams. Number 3, Detroit. Yes, they beat Kansas City. I get that. And a Kansas City fan actually said to me on Facebook that he would put Detroit over Kansas City. That's fine. That's your opinion. Mine, Detroit's on a 3-game winning streak. The number 2 team's on a 5-game winning streak. Number 2, Kansas City. So Kansas City's on a 5-game. They've won every game since they lost to Detroit. And I think they're going to keep winning. It's just, it's a matter of how they win. And number 1 is San Francisco. That was a freak loss. I can't take them out and put Kansas City or Detroit ahead of them for a freak loss. I know people want to. Hell, I've seen The Athletic, ESPN, multiple, media outlets state that they think it's Kansas City and or Detroit. And that's their opinion. They can do that. But I think San Francisco is still legit number 1, close behind Kansas City, close behind Detroit. And Philly and Miami are on that second tier because Miami, they're shaky. Every Miami Dolphin fan will tell you that Tua goes down, they could be done. They don't have a good backup that can manage them the rest of the way. That's not, and the fact that they have to rely on Tua, that's a problem. It's like us relying on Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes goes down, we're done. Because Tyler Taylor ain't Jack. So right now Miami's 5-1, and they're my 5th. You know what? But again, this is week 6, and we got 12 more weeks to go. This can change. This absolutely will change. Okay, I know some of my bowling buddies on Thursday night wanted me to talk about free agents. Now, if I can go to my inbox and I can go to the not early waiver wire. Here we go. Early waiver wire. So the guys are looking at Justin Fields right now. He dislocated his thumb, so he's done. I think he's done for a couple of weeks. McCaffrey, he tried to play through injury, logging 1 snap. McCaffrey might be done for about a week or 2. Deebo Samuel, his shoulder X-rays came back negative, but we're awaiting an MRI. He might be out this week. That's my thought. He's probably gonna be out this week. David Montgomery, ribs, X-rays during game came back negative. He's probably doubtful, in my opinion, right now, but I think he might actually play. Trevor Lawrence, knee, the kid's gonna play. If he needs to play, he's gonna play. And yes, their backup is CJ Beathard. So I really think that Trevor's gonna play. Tannehill ankle, I think Tannehill's out. I think he's done for the year. That's my opinion. Garoppolo back. See, I got a bad back, and I know I probably couldn't play long-term periods of time. So I can't imagine that Garoppolo will be in. And they got Hoyer and or Aiden O'Connell, and any Aiden O'Connell, from all intensive purposes, can play. Okay, now early waiver wire transactions. Jeff Wilson on the Dolphins. If you don't got him, I think you need to get him. especially if he's a free agent in your uh, fantasy football league. Craig Reynolds, wow, only 6%. Reynolds, I believe he's a running back out of the Lions. He's RB2, but that doesn't mean he can't. He wouldn't get some pickups. This guy, I wish I had him in my league. He's already got picked up. Kareem Hunt, I had him 2 years ago, and he's a good pickup. Or no, I had his teammate. Hunt's a good player. He gets you the yards you need. He doesn't necessarily get you the touchdowns. So that's that. Malik Willis, he's going to start for Tennessee probably. So if you want to pick him up, if you need a quarterback or at least a backup, Michael Mayer, tight end Raiders. I need a tight end badly, but I don't know if I want him. And Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver Patriots. I wouldn't pick a wide receiver from the Patriots. I'm sorry, I wouldn't do it. I'd pick a giant over a Patriot just because either Wandale Robinson or any of the other guys. Hyatt, I had Hyatt in the beginning of the year, but they weren't throwing to him. Now they might actually throw to him. So Hyatt might still be available if you think about it. Winners, yeah, Sam Howell. If you got Sam Howell on your team and if he's on your bench, I would keep checking your quarterback, honestly, because Sam Howell is getting better numbers by the week. Breece Hall, another one, getting better numbers by the week with the Jets. If the Jets keep winning like they have been, I think they're on 3 in a row now. Breece Hall will get more runs. Breece Hall gets more runs, more points, might even get a touchdown or two. Drake London, Falcons, and Kyle Pitts. See, I have Kyle Pitts, and he's killing me. He doesn't get more than 6 or 7 points a game. And I know, obviously, they don't give a crap. But, people that follow these guys do. And, that just sucks. But now Drake London on the Falcons, he's getting more catches and more balls thrown to him. But, again, when you got a guy like Desmond Ridder, who's your quarterback, that could be an issue. Michael Pittman of the Colts. Well, they got Gardner Minshew as their quarterback. So Michael Pittman probably will be getting better and better looks with this quarterback. I know, and Richardson, he was going to probably be that guy to do it. But Minshew is a solid backup who can literally throw the rock. Adam Thielen with the Panthers. Wow, it kills me seeing him with the Panthers. Vikings that entire time was early 2020s into the 10s. He's probably a good pickup too. But again, the Panthers are 0-6, so they're probably going to throw a lot, which is good. They're playing from behind, but I don't know. And Taysom Hill, they got him as a tight end. He's probably not a bad pickup because he plays multiple positions, which means he's going to get multiple points. I mean, it says he played 46 snaps on Sunday, and nearly all of them were either lined up as a traditional tight end or out on the slot. As JJ Zachariason pointed out on Twitter, all 8 of his targets came out of the slot. So he's probably a good pickup too if you can get him, or if he's on your bench. That he should do something over the next couple of weeks. Losers. Joe Burrow has been a loser this year, and I hate calling him a loser because he's a damn good quarterback. But with that injury that he's got on his ankle, where he's been, and now I haven't watched the last 2 Cincinnati games. I've only seen the other 3 or 4 where they lost. I'm thinking that he's just not a good quarterback. If you want to keep him on your bench, keep him on your bench. Hopefully you got a better quarterback that you can put in, because that guy's just not it at all. Dameon Pierce, you might have to bench him too, because Devin Singletary has been getting more runs for Houston. Amari DeMarcado, if you have him, he should already be on your bench, because he's not getting much. Joshua Dobbs is really throwing more than anything else, and I think there's only one running back that's actually getting any yards for Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins for Tennessee, yeah, he doesn't want to overreact with Hopkins, and you don't, but they have a backup quarterback now, that's going to be throwing to them. So that's pretty much a lot of them. And there's Calvin Ridley, George Kittle with the injuries. You got to watch that too. So that's my big top fantasy free agents that, if you could find them, if you got them. Like I said, I'm bowling tomorrow and Thursday. So if people who are at the bowling alley in Hazlitt want to talk to me about fantasy football, who they should put in, who should they pick up, blah blah blah, I'm more than willing to talk about it. My team's not great, but I drafted pretty well. But I know who to take and not to take if I can take, if I need someone. Yeah, I'm hopefully I put claims in for 3 more players for tomorrow, so we'll see. All right, next event of things. The winners of week 6. Apparently, it was a ladies' weekend. The 3 of the top 4 places. Now only 2 pay out. 3 of the top 4 places were the women of my pool. And Tara Roberts, congratulations. She didn't even know she won. I texted her, how to pay her. She's like, I won? Yeah, Tara's been busy, so she didn't pay attention. And second place to the wife of my buddy Kerry, Quidada Hearns. Congratulations, second place. Very tough week. A tough week with Dallas winning. Okay, so since it is pretty big to talk about, I'm going to go to this. So real quick, obviously NLCS has started. ALCS is off tonight because Texas has taken a 2-0 lead. I believe Philly's playing tonight, and they won last night handily 5-3. So, good for them. I want Arizona to win because I'm not a Philly fan, period. But I can appreciate Philly doing what they're doing. Who I don't want to win and who I'm rooting hard for, even though they have an ex-Met. Of course, Houston has an ex-Met too. Texas. They got an ex-Yankee who shut down Houston yesterday. And I need to speak to the Yankee trolls right now. Stop calling for Cashman's head because the Texas pitcher who we let go, or the pitcher we let go, and now it went to St. Louis and then it went to Texas. The lefty, I can't remember his name. Don't call for Cashman's head. It's pointless. Understand this. There are Yankees that don't do well in Yankee Stadium. They don't do well in New York. Randy Johnson, the worst of the best. Okay? The man had a hell of a time in his year plus here. Remember, his first time he punched a media person in the streets. He did not. There are people that just don't do it here. Gary Sanchez. He basically implodes here. Can't catch anything. Can't hit for over $140. Goes to Minnesota. Oh, he's a godsend. And then let's talk about what happened this year. Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks. Hicks goes to Baltimore. Oh, we love him. He's doing great for us. He's a veteran role model. I love Baltimore. They played well, but did he do anything for you now? Hicks didn't do. Hicks is what Hicks is. He gets a hit every 20 at bats, and maybe it's a home run. It got real for Baltimore real quick in that 2-game series or 1-game series, whatever it was. And that got real quick. And if you notice, all these teams are not the top teams from their conferences. It's going to be this system of how they have baseball is interesting, and I'm curious how that's going to go about things. That's. I want to see baseball prosper. I love baseball. It was my first sport, but the way they play, I don't know. I mean, where's the AFL? Sorry. 1 second. There he is. Okay. So we'll see how this goes tonight with Philly and Arizona. I'm hoping Arizona ties it up at 1. We'll see. Next on the diet. 6 players who have stood out in the AFL from Jonathan Mayo, MLB.com. And Kim Na, I think that's how you say Na, is she a candidate for Boston Red Sox? So I'll start with the 6 players. So in the pipeline of the Arizona Fall League, Jonathan Mayo slated these 3 guys from 3 different teams. The Blue Jays, Ricky Tideman, Jackson Jobe of the Tigers, who I have heard of, and Davis Daniel of the Angels. All legit ERAs, innings pitched for the time being. Jobe, I think, is the guy out of the 3 that's going to do something over the next year. You know, he's saying he's been as advertised, smooth up to 96, 97, solid breaking ball, good athlete, balanced, precise, fills up the zone, attacks hitters. That's what anybody wants, let alone Detroit. And the hitters, Chase DeLauter, outfielder for the Guardians, batting 270, 367, 459 with 2 homers, 13 RBIs. That's a lot of RBIs for that little games. They're calling him Larry Walker-esque, and that's a big shoe to fill to be Larry Walker-esque. Jacob Marcy, the Padres. This is probably why Soto's getting looked at to be traded. And I'll tell you right now, I saw that, and I'm praying that sometime in the next month and a half, maybe 2 months because it's December, that Soto becomes Yankee, up for the Yankees. And the one person I saw that I don't want traded because I want him as my 8th inning guy, as a Yankee fan, Michael King needs to stay a Yankee. For whatever this clout is that I have, Michael King needs to stay a Yankee at least through the next couple of years. He's that good. Trade whoever else you got to trade. I mean, I don't want to trade Dominguez, but I'd be willing to if I had to. But Michael King, I think, is that good. You cannot trade him, period. So if we can get Soto because the Padres got this Jacob Marcy, let's go. Let's do it. And then lastly, Sterling Thompson of the Rockies, outfielder / second baseman. 480, good Lord, 31 at bats, 484, 610, 742. He's probably a thin kid. He could probably hit for anything. He has 0 home runs. So he's like a Wally Backman. if you guys remember Wally Backman back in the day of the Mets. Okay, and then like I said, Kim Na. Now, if you haven't heard of her, she was the first president of I believe the president or general manager of a Major League Baseball team, and that was the Marlins. Well, she left recently, I think this week sometime, for creative differences. And could the Boston Red Sox be eyeing her? And honestly, I think the Yankees should be eyeing her because she used to work for the Yankees. But I want everybody. I want all the good people. But yeah, I think she's definitely going to be looked at by the Red Sox, but we'll see. All right, so that's that. Because I'm having issues with this online crap, it's stiffening up. I'm not going to do college because I got to print that stuff out. It's not going to work if I do it. But now I did see real quick, the Athletic, they got to figure out who the people that are voting on their page. They got Washington 1 and Georgia 2. Now, I'm not college football educated, but Georgia hasn't lost. Why is Georgia not number 1? And then Washington, because they beat a top 10 team, they could sell up 6 spots to number 1. No, it should be Georgia. Where the hell is Michigan? Why is Michigan in 7? See, I'm not a big fan of Michigan, but I'm sorry. My top 4 is definitely Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. And I'd probably put Penn State, maybe Texas. No, not Texas. Texas is 501. I'd probably put Penn State or Oklahoma. I mean, to put Washington in the number 1 spot, that's silly. That's silly for the Athletic. But, they can do what they want. They're the Athletic, and you know what? They get people to pay for it. All right, I skipped over this, so let me go back. I want to at least promote a little bit of WNBA, the finals. Liberty are down 2-1. I think they're playing tonight. They play, it's 8:50, so they're playing at 9 o'clock, if I'm correct, or they already started. I'm not sure. But hopefully they tie it up and go back to Vegas and try to win it on the road. It would be nice to have a championship in New York. I just, saying it out loud to the world, New York needs a championship. It's been a long time. 2010, 11, Giants, just saying, or 12. That was 2012. It's been a long time. Okay. So, anyway, let's go to the week in this world. And honestly, I need to put this up. It happened, what was it, last night? I think we heard that an icon of the TV world, Three's Company actress Suzanne Summers died at the age of 76 for having a bout of breast cancer. So, I remember her in multiple TV shows, Three's Company, Step by Step. And I had the article, but if you look it up online, Patrick Duffy and Joyce DeWitt, who are surviving members of both shows, and God help us, Joyce DeWitt is the last surviving member of Three's Company. We've lost everybody now, other than Joyce DeWitt. They said they're had their stories to tell of their lost co-actress that I mean, Step by Step was one of the best ABC shows of the 90s, in my opinion. I love that Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, all that's my go-to. And so it's sad for me. It really is. Let me get rid of that, but I want to go to Google for the next one. Okay, let's go to the Wikipedia because that actually helps me. So the next thing I want to talk about, not only that breast cancer thing up because I want people to see it down the road. So, Dancing with the Stars, season 32, this week, which is on right now, and I have tapes, so I'll be watching it sometime in the next couple of days. I am bowling the next 2 nights, so that could be tough for me. But week 4, Disney 100 Night Tonight, like I said, it's on right now. So the first 3 weeks were interesting. Matt Walsh got eliminated. He wasn't a good dancer. Jamie Lynn Spears, Britney Spears' sister, she was eliminated in part because she just couldn't hit the things that she was hitting. And Tyson Beckford, I didn't see this. I must have missed it or haven't watched it yet. It is what it is. So Tyson Beckford got kicked off. He was pretty good, but I guess he didn't take off his shirt enough. I don't know. But he had his partner Jenna Johnson. There's a lot of good ones left. Like I said, the two I love are I'm going to say her name wrong. Xochitl Gomez. She plays Ms. Marble. And also Allison Hannigan. I love Allison Hannigan. But Allison might be one of the next ones off just because she's a little sloppy is not the right word. But, she is older and not as virile or being able to move around. The ones that could win, honestly, Jason Mraz and Adrian Peterson and Lily Pons. Lily Pons, I didn't know who this girl was. Social media personality, but she's really good. And who's the other one? Vanderpump, she's okay. Mauricio's not good. I think Barry. It's between Barry Williams and Allison Hannigan who's going to be on this week probably. And that's just my opinion. So I want to talk about this, and I'm going to have to get back to Google. There we go. So this became actually something curious where the older people with an older guy, most of them widows, some divorced, you wouldn't think there's drama because of age and maturity. Guess what? We got drama. If you look at the top stories, there's top stories on this Golden Bachelor. There's one person who's causing drama. And guess where she's from? New Jersey. Shrewsbury, New Jersey. 70-year-old from Shrewsbury named Teresa or Terry. They call her Teresa. They go by her real name, Teresa. She basically made this other woman, Kathy, like almost bad outcry because Teresa in past shows has had a very good rapport with this Jerry guy. That's great. Guess what? She started bragging about it unknowingly, at least according to her, unknowingly. It caused drama. Funny thing is, Jerry found out about it. I don't watch The Bachelor at all. I like the other ones with the drama with the younger women or the men or whatever. It's too much for me. I'm 47. I don't give it. You know what? But this interested me, and the fact that there's an older woman going this route, and of course she's from New Jersey, shocked me. So the shock was, and if you didn't see it, I'm giving a little bit of a spoiler for last week. He gave her the last rose. And Jerry, knowing that she was the drama one, knowing that, yeah, she was crying, but she, I can't believe I said this. I can't believe it hurt people, blah, blah, blah. Jerry heard this and was shocked that Teresa did this. But apparently that date was so good that this bad did not trump that, did not overtake any of the good that she had been or he had felt for her. And the guy, this Jerry guy, already lost someone because there was a family issue for one of the women. They had to leave. He gave her a rose, an individual rose, and she had to leave the next day. I mean, that sucks. I can't imagine being in that position as the Golden Bachelor. I can't. One of these women are going to be the next Golden Bachelor, whoever loses. So, like I said, I'm interested. I'm invested. And Thursday night when it gets taped, I'll be watching it Friday. I will absolutely be watching it Friday. All right. So, my buddy Casey Reynolds posted on Facebook. He recommends watching Totally Killer and The Fall of House, which is on Amazon Prime, and The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. I do want to watch The Fall of the House of Usher. If you don't know what that name is, just look up Edgar Allan Poe. I learned about him in school, whether it was CBA or St. Jerome's. I learned about it somewhere. But apparently it's that good. And so, in Totally Killer, I'll check it out. I mean, it sounds like interesting. I'm into drama. So, Casey Reynolds recommends it. He's a good buddy of mine who I've known for a long time. We don't see each other much. He's in Delaware now. But he recommended it. I'll give it a gander. Let's see. Okay. So, this I got to talk about. And whoever's on, hopefully you like WWE. Carlito returned. Loved it. I saw watching the last pay-per-view, the LWO, Latino World Order, had to have a third person, and Rey Mysterio called up. Obviously, didn't tell anybody who it was. It was a 3-on-2 match, and then all of a sudden, in that pay-per-view, Carlito, I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Hope you like that. That's one of my better impressions. So, yeah, Carlito returned. They won the match. Great. Now, on SmackDown this weekend, on Friday, Triple H comes out. And finally, I guess with this new company that bought out WWE, even though they're still WWE, they finally have gone back to having general managers for their shows. Adam Pearce, who has been running SmackDown forever, I want to say like 3 years, which, if you think about it, same time that Roman Reigns has been a title holder. And then Nick Aldis, who used to be a wrestler. You have to look it up. I think I have it on the next page or the next banner. That he used to be a wrestler under a different name. So finally, we're going to have two general managers. Thank God. I don't know the results from last night. I didn't watch. I was prepping for this. I was doing other things. So I do know there was a match between the Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes against Judgment Day. I'm crossing my fingers that Uso and Cody kept it. And then upcoming pay-per-views. Crown Jewel, I'm not a big fan of because I get it. They're trying to expand their brand. And then go to Saudi Arabia. Like Saudi Arabia has brought them in. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of the Saudi Arabia only having the men there and the women. It's a political thing that I don't want to get into. But, so I try not to watch it because I'm not a big supporter of it. But I do appreciate that they're trying to do their best to, expand their brand. But now Survivor Series, that's when the writers earn their money. I cannot wait to hear who's going to do what, where, and why. That's going to be fun. And also remember, Survivor Series is pretty much it. They don't state this. They say it's Royal Rumble. But Survivor Series kind of begins the road to WrestleMania. And the next WrestleMania is in Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40. So if I can somehow gather some money up, I do want to go to that. And I will talk about that in one way or the other if I'm there or not. I'd love to go to a WrestleMania. It would, and the fact of being somewhat of my backyard would be awesome. So it's a little bit to know about this SmackDown guy, Nick Aldis, his wife. Go figure. One of my favorite divas. One of my favorite divas. Not my favorite because it's Trish Stratus and Raquel Rodriguez, and I think actually it's Mickey James could be third. No. Leggy girl. Why am I forgetting her name? The girl who had the video, the song "You Got Legs." Stacy Keibler. She's 3 because those legs are ridiculously long. And then 4, probably Mickey James. So he's married to Mickey James. Go figure. I found that out, and he was married to Mickey James. I was like, damn. Now, and that's who he wrestled under. It was Magnus on Impact, TNA Impact, and he was an NWA World Champion for over 1,000 days. So he obviously is pretty impressive. I've been out of the wrestling game for so long. I just didn't know who he was. So, and then Adam Pearce discusses the new appointment on Raw. You know what? It's probably long-winded, so I'm not going to go into it. I'm just happy that Adam Pearce is now the Raw general manager. Thank God. Okay. Go to some news. Bon Jovi recording new album in Nashville after pre-production in New Jersey. A new album from Bon Jovi. Here's my issue. You're doing it in Nashville. It's going to be country. And I'm not going to crap on country. I'm just not the biggest fan. My brother will probably pick it up in a heartbeat. Kevin loves country. And he must have picked that up in North Carolina because that's never been my thing. I appreciate country. There are certain country acts I follow, not just Taylor Swift. But anyway, I had to get my Taylor Swift in there. So, but this will be interesting to see what they come out with the songs that they come out with. Another interesting note that I got on my email: Carteret Performing Arts Center. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned I live in Carteret now. Since I moved from Island from my earlier shows episodes. Pete Davidson live December 15th, 2023 at the Carteret Performing Arts Center. If I can get those tickets, I want to go. That is going to be awesome. And if you're a fan of Pete Davidson, if you're not, then obviously it's not going to be awesome. But if you're a fan of Pete Davidson, then the only thing I didn't like with Pete Davidson is the thing he did with Big Bang Theory girl. That movie that was not that. The first 20 minutes was boring. I mean, absolutely boring. So, all right, and I printed this out. I put it on my Google. More Halloween movies to watch by Joe Mason from the Asbury Park Press. He put out yesterday. Let's share it a little bit. Let's go to the bigger one. Okay, Misery. If you remember that movie, yeah, that's definitely a Halloween scare. I never saw this Nightmare on Elm Street 4, but I hear it's one of the better ones out of the 4. Hellraiser, I can imagine that's a real good one. Red Dragon, I've never heard of Red Dragon, but it's the third movie in the Silence of the Lambs trilogy. And Ed Norton's in it. Okay, good to know. That's interesting. Number 9, The Shining. Of course, that should be probably higher. People Under the Stairs. That sounds wicked, but I've never seen it. Saw. I know from personal experience, a couple women I was married to, and a buddy of mine saw that in the dark, and they had nightmares for weeks. So my buddy's not with us anymore, but my ex-wife, if she watches this, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The Exorcist, number 6. That would scare the bejesus out of anybody. Pet Cemetery, yeah, I can't watch that because I'll never want to own a pet ever again. That's all. That's just no. Cujo, number 4. Yeah, again, the pet thing. I'm not big on watching a pet type thing that's going to scare me. Even though I really don't get scared, it's just not wanting to deal with it. Jeepers Creepers. That is a pretty cool cover for theatrical cover. Jeepers Creepers. I can't say I know this one. I definitely don't know it. Number 2, Creepshow, and number 1, Exorcist 3. The fact that there's 3 Exorcists is just disturbing. How many stories can you have of exorcisms? I don't know, but it's not something that completely interests me on The Exorcist. All right, so upcoming movies. I'm very excited. Now, number 1 with the first one, Trolls Band Together. It's the 3rd Trolls movie. Now, if you got kids, this is the movie for you on November 16th. If any kids 9 and under, I would say even 10. I mean, if they grew up on Trolls, this might be something that they'd be interested in. I didn't see the second. I saw the first. I did not see the second. But this, if your kids want to go for it. Now, I'm really interested in the next 2. The Marvels, 11/10. Finally, a Marvel movie in the theater. I don't remember the last one. Maybe it was more recent than I thought. I don't know. But I am ecstatic for the Marvels. And it's sad for me. I don't have my kids on any of the next few weekends to bring them. Like, they'd love this. I mean, I cannot wait to see this movie. And then Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom. This is another DC that DC isn't. They're kind of spinning in their, especially from the Flash. The Flash didn't do very well. I talked about that in the past. How the Flash was not the one of their best that they've ever done. Probably it could be the worst. But Aquaman hopefully will turn the tide. Excuse the pun with the tide. But Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's all the same players. One more added. I forget who it is, but this looks to be a very, very good movie, and I cannot wait to talk about it down the road. All right, so now we're gonna do my top 5 WWE wrestlers in my list. Okay, so it's not. Whoever. It's not a wrestling whatever. This is my list, who I think is the top 5 all time of WWE wrestlers, which includes obviously WWF, Probably NWA, a couple of those older guys. Yeah, I would put into it. All right, so number 5, I wanted to put him higher. Honestly, I think he's higher, but because there's so many good wrestlers, I can't put him any higher. Number 5 is Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. His real name is Paul Levesque. Obviously, we all know him now. If you're a WWE fan, he is the CEO, COO, or something of that sort of the WWE. He's basically running the show now with Vince on the board and that and the new guys. So, yeah, that's my number 5. I'll do 6 or 10 after I do 1. There is a 6 or 10 that you got to at least talk about them. So, number 4, Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. The man is a hardcore legend. I don't think any wrestling fan could tell me different. I mean, they probably put him higher because some people respect his hardcoreness more than others. Number 3, this might shock a few people. The Rock. Why didn't I quote that? I'm an idiot. Hold on a second, guys. I have to put a quote. Wow. I'm a big stickler on editing. Okay. The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. He from his start to basically now, he's jumped, into the stardom of from basically, not being the greatest wrestler. I mean, if you look at his TV show, and I know it's a TV show, but he talks about a lot of his early beginnings, and he wasn't that good. His father kind of ruined his way to get in. He had to get in on his own, and it's really interesting how he does that. And for him to stay as long as he did before going into movies and everything else in XFL, he definitely changed the magnitude of what a wrestler should be. Number 2, and this is where I said it's pre WWE, WWF as well. Andre the Giant. Andre Rene Rosimov. I'm going to say right now, there really is nobody better from back then to now, although there is one more. But he did it all. I mean, look at any WWE, documentary about Andre the Giant. Just watch it. There's more than a few. He really was the cog that brought all the territories together for Vincent McMahon Sr. or whatever his name was, not the Vince we know now, but his father. Andre was the one that brought everything together. Andre was the one. It wasn't Ric Flair. It wasn't Paul Orndorff. It wasn't anything. It was Andre the Giant. And that's why he's number 2. I mean, he's got a tournament named after him. He's got a statue in that tournament. He is the man. Now, if he's the man, this guy's the GOAT. And currently he is the GOAT. John Cena. 16 championships. And he does so much for the WWE. He does so much in the WWE's name. He does so much for the wrestlers in the game. He's lost to so many people just so they get their win. I mean, think about it. He lost to Carlito. He lost in the last WrestleMania to Austin Theory. He builds people up. I mean, that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And then what he does for, children all over the world, sick children and non-sick children, he's the GOAT. Hands down, he's the GOAT. All right. Now, 6 through 10 probably will be in anybody else's top 5. Number 6, Ric Flair, and this is in order. Number 6, Ric Flair. Number 7, Undertaker. Number 8, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 9, Shawn Michaels. Number 10, Bret the Hitman Hart. There's a lot of people I left off. There's current people I left off. Roman Reigns is probably top 20, even though I can't stand the guy. Cannot stand him for the life of me. I have no use for what the bloodline does now. And I'm hoping that somehow, some way they change that. But Roman Reigns isn't, Rey Mysterio needs to be on this, on a list of top 20. Edge, Jeff Hardy, I can go on. There's a lot of guys that I could be putting on this list. But these 5, Ric Flair, he has to be number 6 because he could be top 5 easy. Ric Flair had 16 titles too. That's why John Cena probably won't win another championship. John Cena doesn't want to go past it. And then Taker, he went 20-0 before losing, or 21-0 if I'm correct. Stone Cold Steve Austin changed the game with Triple H in the 90s. They went from WWE or WWF to Raw's War, and that you have to have him in top 10. Austin 316 was created on a whim because he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then Shawn Michaels and Bret hit the Hitman Hart. They're just, you can flip-flop either one. I mean, they're technical dynamos, that they're the ones that, minus the luchadors of Mexico, were the best technical wrestlers in the world. So that's my wrestling talk. I obviously lost the one guy that I had, one person. I can't say guy. It could have been girl or woman. So let me get out of that ticker. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me get off of that. I'm on Nostradamus. Nostradamus of none. It's now time for the birthday roundup. Birthdays of my friends and family for week 10/17 to 10/23. So, okay. Today's birthdays include my ex-sister-in-law, Janine Morosco, and a friend of mine from, actually Kevin, my brother's co-worker in the Long Branch First Aid Squad. I've known her for a while, and her dad, if I'm correct, might be still, I don't know, Monmouth County Court judge. So I remember Judge Danza from, just seeing his name when I used to load trucks for UPS. So, so happy birthday to Janine. Happy birthday to Kim. Tomorrow, we got Stuart Henry Jr., my bowling buddy from down in Shore Lanes, and I think he's bowling other places now too. 44 years young tomorrow. Andrew Anastasio, 32 years old. Tony Rendazzo, co-worker when I worked at National Starch. She worked at another company, but we got to know each other well with my football pool. And Greg Cruz, my UPS brother from Tinton Falls. Not at UPS anymore as far as I remember or heard. So happy birthday tomorrow. Why did that go down there? That should not have gone down there. That's weird. Okay. Very strange. So let's see, today's Tuesday. So on Thursday, this woman I know very well. This woman was my senior prom date at CBA. This woman is now living in Southern Ocean County with her very Army Reserve husband, Mike. Laura Stepnowski turns 47 on Thursday. Happy birthday, Laura. Hope you see it. Paul Van Dusen, 1071 The Boss. He's on air talent in the afternoon. I've heard him every once in a while. We're friendly on Facebook. It's his birthday on Thursday. And Megan McGinley, one of the best female bowlers I know. I mean, she's up there. I mean, there's a few women I can't beat. She's one of them. Plain as day. She's one of the few women I can't beat. She's that good. Alice Dobbs, she's up there too. And Alice, if she ever sees it, she knows what I'm talking about when she beat me. Okay. On Friday, 10:20, Greg Weber, who I worked with at Amazon, my Amazonian brother. Just about retired from what I understand. He's I think in Florida now. He's on vacation probably for his birthday. So happy birthday, Greg. Nancy Pizzuccillo, bowler from Bradley Beach from many years ago. Happy birthday, Nancy. Diane Olson, wife of Eugene, who has bowled herself. Her birthday is Friday. Happy birthday. She'll be 37. Joe Bonello, my buddy from National Starch, who's now in my football pool. Not doing too well this year, and I'm not going to say where he's at. He's already talked to me about that. But he won a lot. He won a couple last year, so he knows his football. He's just having a rough year this year. It's not good for anybody who's not understanding what the heck is going on. It's his birthday on Friday. Casey Bartholomew. If you don't know the name, he was one of the better 1015, New Jersey 1015 on-air talents that they've ever had. He was around during the Craig Carton times. And Casey's real good. I love, we're friends on Facebook, and like we talk every once in a while. And if he posts something, I'll talk to him. He's a really good dude. So on Saturday, two guys I've known for a very long time, both Jims, obviously, as you can see. Jim Puzo, UPS driver. I think he's retired now. 65. Happy birthday. Jim Sargent went to school for a year with his sister until they moved. I forget. It was first grade was the only year Melissa was in my class. Jim was in a higher class, but then the Sargents moved out of Eatontown and left the area. And although from what I understand now, Jim's back in Eatontown. So Jim Sargent on Saturday, happy birthday. And then we got Sunday and Monday. So Sunday, 10:22, Brian Severito, bowling. Happy birthday. Jeannie Albright, one of my oldest friends who I've known for a very, very long time. On Saturday, she turns a young 72. Ryan Friend, one of my new friends from bowling, he turns 35. Marissa Clifford turns 44. Former New York Giant Leonard Marshall. It's his birthday on Sunday, sorry. And this shocked me. I thought he was younger. I didn't think he was older than me. One of my buddies from high school, Jim, his cousin Paul, who I thought went to CBA. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Paul would have to tell me. It's his birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, 48 years old. And then a woman I've met through Beth, whose husband is a DJ in the area, Melanie Oliveras, turns 45 on Monday. Okay, so that's the birthdays of the people I know. Happy birthday to everybody over the next, today and the next 6 days. Now we got celebrity birthdays. Slim Shady's birthday's today. Chicken Slim Shady. He turned 51. He's old. Wow. Eminem is old, which means Dr. Dre's older. Why is this hat not working? There we go. Eminem is 51. Wow. Alan Jackson, country lifer. Alan Jackson, 65 years old. Wyclef Jean, the Fugees, ooh la la la. Wyclef Jean, 54 years old. Felicity Jones. Let's go to her page real quick. If you don't know her, no. Got that. Entertainment. There we go. One more time. Birthdays. There we go. So we got Eminem. Where is she? Felicity Jones turns 40 years old. Felicity Jones gained fame for playing Ethel Howell on TV series Worst Witch, which I've never heard of her on that. But her role in 2014 the film The Theory of Everything, if you've seen that, earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Motion Picture. Also, and this is where Star Wars people know her, in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, she played Jyn Erso. So probably a main character in the Rogue One series. That's Felicity Jones. She turns 40. Ziggy Marley, the reggae king. His dad, Bob Marley. Ziggy turned 55 today. And Mike Judge. Yeah, fire. I think you know what I'm talking about. Beavis and Butthead. The cartoonist, the creator of Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, amongst other things. He turned 61. Our 90s cartoonists are getting old. Go figure. And we got a couple celebrities who have passed away who had birthdays today. Rita Hayworth, legend of her time, was born today in 1918. She died in 87. And a comedy legend who we lost, an SNL comedy legend, Norm Macdonald, who was born in 1959 today, died in 2021. Too young, just way too young. Movies and shows, but mostly movies that came out today in that year that I have parenthesized. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh, that was a freaky movie, right? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Let's see. All right, let me go back to this. I can go to that. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Entertainment. So that movie had, does it tell me? Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze, Anne Heche, who is not with us anymore, Johnny Galecki. I forgot he was in that. Johnny Galecki and Ryan Phillippe. That's pretty much it. But those people were in this movie. The movie was nominated for a Saturn Award. The first film in the franchise finds friends who are haunted by a murderer after accidentally killing a man a year earlier. Film is based on Lois Duncan's 1973 novel of the same name. I didn't know it was based off a novel. Go figure. All right, Devil's Advocate. Now, this movie was one of my favorites growing up. And, okay, why isn't this going back? There we go. So, if I go to that, Devil's Advocate. Okay, a young defense lawyer takes a job with a high-stakes firm in New York where his wife starts to have dark visions and his boss slowly reveals himself to be eviler than he originally appeared. Al Pacino was nominated for Best Villain at the MTV Movie Awards. Film is based on a book of the same name by Andrew Niederman. Now, the cast, not too many, but Keanu Reeves, obviously the star with Al Pacino. Does anybody remember the wife? A very young, who was recently in a Marvel movie. At the end of the movie, Charlize Theron. She played the wife. Also in it, Craig T. Nelson, Jeffrey Jones, Judith Ivey. Jeffrey Jones, you know Jeffrey Jones from Howard the Duck, where he becomes the alien. The alien goes into him. I also think he might have been in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as the principal. I could be wrong. That Jeffrey Jones. Oh, we're at an hour and a half. So, and the last movie, Tarzan animated 2015. Just want to let everybody know, if they see this during the week, we do in the Northeast. If you're in the Northeast, there is a potential nor'easter that could impact the weekend forecast for New Jersey. So that means I probably will be staying in and talking to you about the week 7 games. So that's my pick for Thursday night. Putting it out there. Only a 4-point game. I think Jacksonville beats New Orleans in New Orleans 31-27. Jacksonville's been on a roll. They might actually get in my top 5 or top 10. Or no, they might get in their top 5. I'm sorry, they're already 6. They might get in my top 5. And then, let me get out of this. That's pretty much, that's it. That's all I got for today. So let's go back to this ticker. This was episode 21, Unbeatens Fall and Eclipse. Oh, I forgot about the eclipse. So if anybody saw that eclipse, that's what I posted on Facebook, and I posted on the front page of this. That eclipse was in the west. We're going to get one apparently April of next year. So anybody in the northeast or east might see one middle of next year. That's what I heard on the news when they talked about the one in the west. So hopefully we'll get to see one. So like I said, eclipse in the west. Are we living in the wild, wild west? I was going to say, are we living in the end of days? Hopefully not either. Hopefully it's these teams start to figure themselves out, so we actually have better days. And then I'll leave us with this: referees, figure your job out, or hopefully you're going to get replaced, because we need better officiating. Period. Football, baseball, and that means basketball. You better be watching, because you shouldn't be screwing up either. Hockey, they seem to be fine. The start of the hockey has been okay. Haven't heard too much about anything other than Rangers win and Islanders win. And maybe I'll talk about that next week. We'll see. Since they just started. Like I said, if you like what you see and you hear, hopefully my audio was better today. I know I ran a little long, 132. An hour 32, I mean, so it's at 92 minutes. If you like what you see and hear, click the subscribe button on the right-hand corner. I look a little tired. This has been a long week and a half that I've been dealing with. So I'll be back on Saturday sometime to do my pick 6. And maybe my kids will chime in with their pick 6. Maybe they'll email me something. You never know. All right. Hope to see you all then. Hope to see everybody watch this later on down the road. To everybody with the birthday roundtable, have a happy birthday. See you all on Saturday.